Did you guys know that Azeroth has changed a lot over the years? And no, I'm not just talking about Orgrimmar, that used to look like this, and now it looks like that. No, but like a lot of different zones have changed and some are unrecognizable from the vanilla days. And today we're going to have a look at all the Kalimdor changes that happened. And I'm super excited for this because it's gonna bring back some nostalgia and also show some areas that we maybe no more recognize from back in the day.
Did you know that the Warlord Whispers brought Twilight's Hammer into Blackfathom Deeps recently and that it is still a really dangerous place? Or that Mulgore, despite the long peace and being a really peaceful zone, it is still in a pretty tough spot with a bunch of enemies? Or did you know that these Alliance guys are actually still present in Durotar? Well, Kalimdor was actually updated quite a bit back in Cataclysm.
A lot, actually.
13 years had passed since then, and a lot of things changed. Most of you know all these changes that happened in BFA, but there are actually a ton of hints about how Kalimdor changed after that it was not shown in the game, so I really wanted to compile all the information that we currently have, from the various attacks on the crossroads to the fact that Blizzard actually moved Kalimdor further east on the map in Dragonflight. We know the Veiling Caverns are still corrupted, have Azerite in them. We know the Sword of Sageras is more relevant than ever, and we just learned that Kalimdor has a new name that the Titans have hit.
I feel like everyone has like forgotten these days about the freaking sword. There was like an interview with Blizzard, and I think it was Ian that said it, like, which sword actually? What are you talking about, when he was asked about it? Like, if Blizzard has freaking forgotten about this sword, I wonder if this will actually play a role in a future expansion. I hope it will actually.
Just learned that Kalimdor has a new name that the Titans have hidden. So let us get zone by zone and cover every bit of information on what Kalimdor looks like today with all the updated stuff. While Kalimdor has not been fully updated, the Magic Spoon, this video sponsor, is the Childlike cereal updated for the 21st century. For those of you that follow me on Instagram, you might know that I spend time working out, and I'm not too much into cereal, but I was literally blown away by this one, as it is a high protein cereal that can perfectly fit your goals. There are 30 to 40 grams of protein, but only 140 calories per serving, 0 grams of sugar, and 4 to 5 net grams of carbs. Best of all, they don't taste like low-calorie cereal whatsoever. Their cereal bars also have 1 gram of sugar, 10 grams of protein, 4 net grams of carbs, and only 130 calories. So click the link below to get some Magic Spoon cereal. They just started shipping to Canada and the UK, and you can build your own variety box with my code DORON for $5 off. My favorite flavor is the frosted, but you can choose the cocoa, fruity, peanut butter, cookies and cream, as well as the
so
honey
many
nut,
different
muffin,
ones,
birthday
wow.
cake, cinnamon roll, and a bunch of others. And you can also add cereal bars to the variety box as well. So make sure to click the link below, or just go to magicspoon.com/DORON or use code DORON and get $5 off your order today.
Okay.
As opposed to many other continents, Kalimdor has actually been updated. We've had the obvious Cataclysm.
Yeah, the Cataclysm is the most,
the entire place, and we've also had a few other expansions that changed some of the features.
BFA changed a lot as well. Like, there were some changes that came to different zones with BFA, and I actually like that. Like, it's actually cool what BFA did to some zones. Like, it's actually a way different feeling when you are exploring. Like Darkshore, for example.
Although in a minor way, there was really never any shattering type change other than the one we've had, aside from the destruction of the Eldersail. However, as all of you know that you play the game and you already probably know a lot of these changes, I want to cover the ones that were not really shown in the game and that happened in the books or were mentioned in quests or in these various conversations. There is actually a ton of information to unpack, as many things have been updated, but it is only a matter of time before this catches up in the game.
That's exactly what I don't like in WoW. Like, one of the things I dislike is that, like, a lot of information for us about changes, about characters, we need to get from freaking novels, from books. Like, why can we not get this from just playing through stuff? Like, this is something that Blizzard, in my opinion, must do better, where certain lore and information is delivered to us in-game and we don't need to read books for that. Because not everyone that's, like, constantly playing video games like myself has, like, time to read books for hours and stuff. And not everyone is a big reader, so it would be cool if we would get some stuff, also information delivered in-game, like why this zone changed. How certain individuals got freaking married in game, like what happened to the old war chief, like why is this person now on this side, and how did the allied race get introduced, and this and that. Like, there's just so much stuff you need to get from books, and I think it's ridiculous. Like, I think there should be more information delivered to us through actual gameplay.
However, before we get into the zone-by-zone updates, let's look at some of the more general ones. So, this is something that might have flew past you, but if you compare the maps before the Dragonflight and after, Blizzard actually moved the entire continent of Kalimdor a bit more to the east. This might have been done in order to not have the isles cluttered, but other than this, we have actually new information about a possible other side of Azeroth that is west of Kalimdor. A hidden place beyond the waves was mentioned in Old God books, and we also had a pirate that had apparently ventured it as well that is relevant.
Are they gonna do a Pandaria kind of thingy, but with like new continents and stuff as well for like a future expansion? Yo, this could be the future of Dragonflight, like after it maybe. Like what if we get like a new continent size like maybe Kalimdor or something, right? And this will be a new, no, this will actually be like 2 expansions. So first half is 1 expansion and second half another. I wouldn't be surprised if actually Blizzard did this. That would be actually interesting as well. And yeah, by the way, guys, if you're new to this channel, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more MMO content. And actually, I think there's definitely potential with this.
Ventured it as well that is relevant in 10.0.7, so we might have something with that, and it could be a setup for a future storyline that could be happening quite soon. Other than this, we also learned with these books that we found in Deathwing's library that apparently the old gods had their own name for Kalimdor, the mega continent, not the current Kalimdor, but the Titans deleted this name from history and named the place Kalimdor, which means obviously Land of Eternal Starlight, so this new name might play a role in the near future as well. However, other than these all-encompassing structural changes, we actually have all sorts of bits and pieces just thrown all over the place across the various zones of Kalimdor. So to start from the top down on the map, we have Mount Hyjal. One of the most iconic zones of Warcraft in general, as this was the key point in Warcraft 3, but only actual zone introduced in Cataclysm. Well, some things have changed. First, in BF8, there was a lot of Azerite stuff happening here with the elementals and a lot of crazy stings, as well as battles, so that in itself would make some changes.
Oh yeah, Twilight Hammer was everywhere then.
Destroyed Teldrassil, Nordrassil became a temporary home for some Night Elves, as it was a place for refugees. Other than this, a lot of the elementals should have calmed down over the years, and we know that there have been some restoration efforts as well, so it is entirely possible that some of these scorched zones are just hellscapes that were in Cataclysm.
Yeah, but the thing is, if you want to do this at Mount Hyjal, I hope I pronounced that correct, it's like you have to actually quest through to change this area. We see like out of burnt trees and stuff, there's no green oil, but if you actually quest through and you finish the quest line, everything turns green again. You have like normal looking trees and all. It's actually pretty fascinating. I kind of like this actually, where you have like one zone, and if you quest through, it actually changes the appearance of the whole zone. Like, I think this was actually, I had so much fun questing here, to be honest. Because there was actually progress that you could see while questing. So if you get from A to D, for example, and you did like a couple of quests, like stuff starts to change. And then you get further, like stuff changes more. I actually like that, but I think it's like pretty hard to do actually in MMO. Because then you have like so many phases, right? Because you can't have the players on the same phase if the area has not changed yet.
Cataclysm are no longer
Probably
there.
Pressure
for example,
the
we know
server.
that the Circle of Cinders was actually restored, like this was officially confirmed. Right next down the line we have Moonglade that we know was attacked by the Legion, but other than this we really don't have all that much information. However, in regards to Darkshore, there actually is
cool.
a ton of info. As we know, this place was a battlefield for years, and a fierce battlefield at that as well. The
Many cool mounts are there.
That rivals this place is Tirisfal Glades, and both of these places have been equally scorched and destroyed. First, we have the burnt Teldrassil in the background. That is a sad sight that is still present to this day. And we know that the Alliance managed to retake this place and to drive out the Horde that we actually witnessed ourselves. However, there is info after the Fourth War. The entire place is said to be quite terrible and war-torn. Little wildlife remains, birdsong is gone, and while some restoration efforts are happening, it is just a destroyed land. It was confirmed that the Grove of the Ancients and the Shattered Spirit Whale are active, but other than that, Darkshore is quite a miserable place up to this day. Right next down the line we have Felwood, which has been ravaged pretty much since.
Has it actually changed?
And we don't really have all that much info about this. We know certain demon hunters have been on missions to hunt down demons, and since the Legion was defeated years ago, the presence of demons has drastically come down everywhere. However, we do have some information, and it's not really good news for the lovers of Felwood. Despite some parts being cleansed, we know that after the Fourth War, so after BFA, Satyrs, Infernals, Corrupted Ancients, and Corrupted Treants still roam this place. There is
But if they change Fellwood and make it green again, it actually destroys the purpose of the name of this place. They have to rename it then. Because why would you call an area Fellwood if there's no more Fell? So if they cleanse it, what do they call it? Darkwood or what? Like, they must find a different name. So it's no more Fellwood, but now it's called Darkwood or something. Maybe they renamed this.
A bunch of twisted, oozing, and
those trees are creepy, right? They have like faces.
Is still ever present. So while it may not be as bad as it currently is in the game, it's
What's
not
this?
really all that much better in the lore either. Ashenvale is a bit similar to this in terms of changes, however it is in a much better shape. We know for a fact that before BFA, Ashenvale was actually super peaceful, as the Sentinel said. The place was
and
just
now
a super
there's
boring place
hostile
to be.
stuff
However,
everywhere.
It ended up not being so boring when the Horde just moved their entire
Oh,
army to
yeah.
this place to burn down Teldrassil, which just brought on hellfire. However, at this point in time, it isn't actually all that bad.
What's cool about Ashenvale is like you have one side, like on the Horde side, like several quests that also have to deal and to do with them being present there, and then you have some on the Alliance side. Like, oh, the Horde is here now and stuff. This almost turned into a PvP zone. Did I not read somewhere that they actually plan to do this kind of like with like Darkshore and stuff, and they want to turn like into a freaking PvP zone, but then they didn't or something.
It was confirmed that despite the war and the Alliance managing to retake a bunch of places, Ashenvale is still a lush wilderness, and the Horde are still continuing.
Would have been
on
cool
their
because you could get like
operations.
also cool
However,
mounts and stuff
some
there.
interesting things have been happening. For example, Zorgam Outpost was mainly abandoned, and the Alliance was super careful about this place because they knew it was the
normal
Horde's
abandoned.
closest place to attack Azermist Isles, so they just planted a bunch of water charges around it, and
Yeah.
the Horde did the same thing on their side. Now,
With also their
we
new
have the Black
buildings.
Venom Beeps that actually had a lot of interesting things for some reason. The Twilight's Hammer heard Void Lord whispers and arrived here, and they mined for Azerite, which is the blood of the World Soul, which is relevant right now. The cultists were defeated, but the place is still super dangerous as the Naga are ever present. In close proximity, we have the Stone Town Mountains. Not all that much happened.
One
in
of
this
my
place,
most
but we know
favorite
that
zones
the Charred
in-game.
Trail was a place for an Engineers Guild event, and after the war, the Sentinels managed to pretty much destroy every siege weapon that the Horde had brought to the mountains, but other than this, there really hasn't been all that much of it.
Nah.
Now, let's get to some of the most interesting bits of Kalimdor changes. We have the heart of all the Orc and the Troll players, and that is Durotar. So, in regards to Orgrimmar,
So much
there have been
changed
some
here.
structural changes. We know, for example, Sylvanas used those Orgrimmar tunnels that Garrosh used, but what they currently are used for, we don't really know. There have been some changes as we've gotten the trade outpost.
Maybe for the
some
Forsaken?
buildings have been moved, and I'm guessing with a 5-year peace, there has been more prosperity, and the city more than likely expanded to some extent. There have been some changes to
Got
the harbor.
modernized.
Granacti recently arrived, and I'm expecting this place to look much better than after Sylvanas had created that crazy war back in BFA. The only thing we need right now is just a complete actual visual revamp so that the main Horde capital is not stuck in 2010. We also have
Yes,
updates
please.
to the Echo Isles. We know a new dock was built that goes to Zulda's.
The thing about the Echo Isles is I feel like the Echo Isles has like more potential. What they should do is kind of like with Zuldazar, with like the Zandalari main city, they could add some cool troll buildings, like make it look like an actual city and not those small islands and stuff that are connected, but have actually like real big structures there or something like that with like multiple floors. It would be nice if they actually extended and added like some troll architecture buildings, just like with the Zandalari troll sort of.
We know a new dock was built that goes to Zuldazar, and a lot
Maybe
of
like a
Horde's
pyramid
naval power was
even or
stationed
so.
here during the war, and I'm
On
guessing
one
it's
island.
still used as a significant base. We also have that Alliance expedition that many actually expected them to be completely gone, but they actually
No, this is
aren't.
still
For example,
classic.
the Alliance
Like
sent a
the
rebuilding
classic
mission
style.
to Tiragard Keep in BFA and Durotar, and while that kind of failed, we know that these humans are still present after the war, and it is likely that the keep is being rebuilt, although it isn't too certain. We also have
Wow,
the Northwatch
imagine
Hold, which
gets a
is
revamp.
technically in the Barrens, that was destroyed back in the day by lava elementals, but it was rebuilt before BFA. Once again, the current state is uncertain, but with the peace, I'm guessing the Horde allowed the Alliance to rebuild their forces despite the strategic location. While we're talking about the Barrens, we actually have information about it. Quite a bit of information. During the Fourth War, a large Alliance army attempted to capture the Crossroads, which obviously failed. Then during Shadowlands, the Argent Crusade defended Crossroads from the Scourge and the Cult of the Damned. There have without a doubt been some changes to the place, but I'm guessing a lot of it has been restored.
It's actually so nice in the artwork, right?
Past, but we have 5 years time skip. Then we know that Baal Modan was used as a staging point by Alliance to attack Mulgore back in BFA, and the Horde launched an offensive on Baal Modan. The current state is uncertain. However, we do have some really interesting information in regards to everyone's favorite dungeon, the Veiling Cavern. So a lot of Azerite was found in this place, which launched a Horde and Alliance effort to attack it, and this Azerite really impacted the animals that live there. We did learn though that after the Fourth War, as the dust had settled, the Nightmare corruption still haunts this place, and both factions abandoned their efforts to harvest resources here despite a lot of power, which means that the
we just get a revamp.
Are a pretty dangerous place up to this day. Now, while we're talking about iconic Horde zones, we of course have Mulgore. Well, other than the war that happened, the Tauren still actually face a lot of problems here even to this day, because Mulgore is quite a headache for the Horde. We know that the Venture Company are still a problem. The Gnolls are an ever-living pain.
I actually think if you update Mulgore with like better textures and stuff, and add like maybe some more trees, like what if you have like more trees there, like a few, and they get like new textures and everything. I actually think Mulgore has a lot of potential for some sort of revamp, because there's just so much space, it's such a wide area, and you can actually add quite a lot of stuff. You can add like more camps and stuff, like maybe some runes, like more trees. You can have, I don't know, maybe some cool outposts or something. What about like a little Forsaken town or so? I think there's definitely potential here.
In the neck, and most importantly, the Grim Totem tribe is still a pretty major enemy, as they're attacking the actual water supply of Thunder Bluff. With the recent Grim Totem and the Primalist involvement in Dragonfight, I'm guessing we are going
such a large area, so much
potential.
potential.
Feralus, not all that much happened. We know that despite both the Alliance and the Horde footholds, it is still a pretty wild and dangerous place.
Yeah,
and the Ogres and the Gnolls are a pretty big threat, despite a lot of the missions. In a similar manner, Thousand Needles also have 1,000 problems. First, the Grim Totem are still a pretty big enemy, and the Horde are struggling to keep their footing in this area. And also, the South Sea Pirates make this place even more dangerous. However, other than the Cataclysm, no crazy structural changes actually happened to Thousand Needles. In Dustfall Marsh, we don't really have a lot of updates, but the Alliance presence is still minimal to non-existent since the mana bombing of Terramore. We know during BFA there were some Alliance scouting missions in this place, but we definitely won't be getting rebuilt Terramore anytime soon, or at least there aren't any hints for it at the moment. However, with the Horde and the Alliance peace, the Alliance might be allowed to build Terramore back up at one point, as really back in the day it was the Alliance capital. Furthermore, we have Silithus. There aren't any big changes to it, but we know that the Sword of Sargeras is still there. Blizzard is constantly hitting at it being relevant. With all this crazy new old god Titan information, it is likely that Silithus might actually...
Would actually someone pull the sword out, or will we use some magic to maybe teleport it out? Like, I don't think it's like healthy for a planet to have a giant sword stuck in it. They should freaking pull this out and have goblins freaking put something in, like cement or something, like, I don't know, fill this hole up after you pull this sword out or so, if it's even possible.
Be the most relevant place, the most relevant zone throughout the entirety of Kalimdor, and it is possible that we could be returning to Silithus. Other than these zones, we know that for a while the Quillborg had gone a bit crazy with the Cataclysm, but that has obviously calmed down
new models
quite a bit.
too,
and
I think.
With how many of them we fought, I'm guessing they have also calmed down quite a bit, and their numbers have been culled. In regards to the Centaur, that used to be a super major threat to Kalimdor.
Wait, they have the old models here?
Happened as we had defeated them time and
There's
time
a new
again.
model,
Keep
actually.
in mind, these Centaur guys used to be the biggest enemies of the Tauren and a huge menace across
They're cool
the
in
entire
Dragonflight,
continent, but at the moment they're nothing more than a bit of a nuisance, as the two factions, but mainly the Horde, control Kalimdor. So overall, there have actually been quite a few updates to the entire continent. There has been a 5-year time skip since Shadowlands, and really it is only a matter of time before a lot of these changes are reflected in the game. While some zones look decent, it would be really cool if Blizzard actually visually revamped the entirety of Kalimdor. Thank you for watching. Check out the new zone eyebrows by clicking on the screen, and check out the Notes Academy for videos on real world history.
Yeah, that's interesting. It's actually cool to have a look at those changes like we saw here, how like Darkshore has changed, how like Thousand Needles is different now, how it is with freaking Orgrimmar, with Theramore and stuff. And like one thing I'm like wondering, what about like those starting zones as well? And I mean like Mulgore, of course, the Elwyn Forest, Like, those kind of starting areas, they really need to change, because if you make like a new character and you want to do your race's starting experience as either a Tauren or, for example, like a human in Elwyn Forest, it's pretty kind of like almost boring now, because it's not no more up to date. Like, everything is so modernized and stuff, but then you have like those starting zones that are still the same. And yeah, I especially think now about Elwyn Forest, because I made not too long ago a human and I was freaking questing through Elwyn Forest, and I was thinking to myself, are you playing right now WoW Classic, or is it like WoW Retail? Like, what WoW am I playing now? It didn't feel like it's Retail, it felt like Classic. But I don't know, it's kind of, I feel like some areas do need some change. Like, there can be more done to freaking Durota, and same with like freaking Elwyn Forest. We can do something about Mulgore, give a like new starting experience for Tauren. I mean, why not? Same with the Echo Isles, like let's add some buildings there, please. That would be really, really cool. Because they have just a few tents, that's it. Like those small islands everywhere. Like, it doesn't even look like it's a freaking city for trolls. It looks almost like some sort of outpost there. I feel like it's not so impressive. But yeah, let's see what they're gonna do in the future. Some changes were good with Cataclysm. I like how we have like some areas now that look so totally different, because there's like stuff growing. I like how like Mount Hiyal or Hijal, how you call it, has changed. And how it actually changes when you quest through. But yeah, guys, what is your favorite change that happened over the years? Which zone do you like now more than you did during the vanilla or classic days? Let me know in the comment section. And if you guys are new to this channel, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more content. And if you guys enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give this one a thumbs up. I will see you guys next time.